Next bill is Senate Bill 269 by Senator Rogers, an act relating to labor and labor relations, minimum wages, overtime. Senator Rogers, good afternoon.
Afternoon, Chairman Chacon. How you doing?
Very good. And yourself?
Good.
Okay, would you enlighten us on your bill?
Well, the gist of this bill is unintended consequences from the bill that was passed with the firefighters. The damage it will do, the upfront damage that will do to the Central Coventry Fire District. They came to me and basically requested for them to get 5 years to ramp up, because their option was an automatic increase of 20% on increase to the taxpayers, or possibly looking at bankruptcy. So I'm putting this bill in. I believe it's a good management bill to get them where they need to be in 5 years. And I'm looking for passage on it just to kind of get them up to speed with it without causing too much damage. That's the gist of it.
Okay, are there any questions of Senator Rogers? No? Okay. Speaking also on the bill is Paul Valletta from the Rhode Island State Firefighters Association. Mr. Valletta, good afternoon.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Can you hear us?
I can.
Okay, you are up.
Okay, so, on May 1st, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. On May 1st of 2019, the Rhode Island Senate passed legislation on a vote of 32-6 that compensated firefighters for hours worked in excess of their normal hours. Rhode Island firefighters had always worked a 42-hour work shift. Then a new trend started several years ago. And it put us in some municipalities and fire districts were forcing firefighters to work a 56-hour work week, which we considered dangerous and unhealthy to us. The compensation piece of the law was secondary to the mandatory additional hours we'd be working. We submitted evidence in studies and medical opinions as to the dangers of these long shifts. We were humbled and honored by your support in your vote to say you're going to try and keep your firefighters safe in a dangerous line of work. We also built into the 2019 legislation language that would give the 3 departments that were in these 56-hour work shifts time to prepare by putting in language that the law would not kick in until the expiration of the current collective bargaining agreement. The 2 towns who had less time than Central Coventry Fire District to do that did it. They prepared for the change. At the time of the passage of this law in 2019, the Central Coventry Fire District was in a 5-year deal, and that deal went from 9/1/2015 to 8/31/2020. And that deal was negotiated by a court-appointed administrator and the fire union. Unfortunately, the contract expired 8/31/2020. Firefighters entered into negotiations with the city, with the district. They could not come to an agreement, and they are presently in an interest arbitration. I will let you know that that the firefighters made an offer to the Coventry Fire District that because we're in the middle of a pandemic and we have to negotiate a new contract, just keep the contract we'll keep the contract we have in place for a year. We'll stay in the 56-hour work week, and we'll take a nominal raise at the end of the contract, and everything else stays in place. Unfortunately, that was verbally agreed to, but then when it came time to put it in writing, the district backed out. This is a normal thing for this fire district. Every time there's a contract that they have to negotiate, they try and take other avenues, and this is just another avenue they're taking. So what this legislation and the supporters of this legislation are asking you to do is to tell the Central Coventry firefighters We thought it was important in 2019 to protect all Rhode Island firefighters with these crazy work hours. And they want you to exempt the 30 members of the Central Coventry Fire District. So they want you to tell the Central Coventry Fire District, we're going to protect all the other 39 cities and town fire departments and districts, but not you for 5 years. Now, you're going to hear, as you just heard briefly, that this is going to be a money issue if this happens. It's not a money issue. They said at their meeting Monday night, they have over $450,000 in a rainy day fund. And I just want to read to you what's on their website presently, the Central Coventry Fire District's website. Central Coventry Fire District is debt-free. Pension plan is 79% funded. Insurance service rating has improved. And for fiscal year 2018, we passed the budget with a 17% tax rate reduction. So there's not a, and you may even hear the word in the future, bankruptcy, because that's what they always throw the word out. This law is not going to cause any problem in Central Coventry Fire District when it comes to finances. They have the money. If they had taken the firefighters' one-year deal to stay in the 56-hour work week, it would have cost about $225,000 for that budget year, and that would have been the end of it. So I ask you again, humbly, not to send a message to the Central Coventry firefighters who, like every firefighter in the state of Rhode Island, has been in the middle and the forefront of this pandemic, and we staff vaccine pods every day when they ask us to, as the Central Coventry firefighters have. So I ask you not to send a message like the Central Coventry Fire District wants to send, or the board members want to send to their firefighters, that every other firefighter in this state will be protected from these crazy hours, but just not you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me.
Thank you, Mr. Valletta. Are there any questions? Any questions from the committee? I believe Senator Lombardi has signed up to...
Just a brief commentary, Mr. Chairman. When I read the agenda for tonight, given the title of this act, sometimes it passes you by because it's talked about labor and labor relations and minimum wages. I understand now that this was the bill that I authored in 2019 and actually introduced probably for the last 5 years in the Senate and finally got it passed in 19. Putting aside all of the monetary debate that's going on tonight, I just want to let you know that this bill, the impetus for passage of this bill was primarily a safety issue, and that when I signed on to this bill to support it as its primary sponsor, the evidence was overwhelming and in fact uncontroverted the way these hours had affected the job performance and the safety and health of not only the recipients of the service of firefighters, but the firefighters themselves. Quite frankly, just working extended shifts without with sleep deprivation and or without rest put everyone at risk, the public at large and firefighters in general. So this bill was dominated by the safety issues that were underlining this bill when we did it. We presented it that way, and as Mr. Valletta testified, the Senate overwhelmingly approved this bill for that reason. So just by way of point in terms of the author's emphasis on this, if you will, since I was the author of this, this is a safety bill, and the parties can certainly debate the financial aspects of this, but this is to try and keep firefighters throughout the state of Rhode Island safe and sound, and those people that are the victims of fire and of emergency medical requirement, to keep those folks out of harm's way because of a distracted, sleep-deprived EMT, firefighter, etc. And that's all I've got to say. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Lombardi. That concludes testimony on S-269. Do I have a motion to hold for further study?
I would move to hold for further study, Mr. Chairman.
Motion made by Senator Lombardi, seconded by Senator Sosnowski. Any discussion? Being none. Mr. Clerk.
Senator Burke?
Yes.
Senator Dela Cruz?
Yes.
Senator Golden, Senator Lombardi,
Yes.
Senator Picard,
This thing keeps going on and on.
Senator Sosnowski,
Yes.
Chairman Chacon.
Yes. S-269 will be held.